This has been a very, very difficult time for many Palestinian Canadians, Muslim Canadians, for the past 3 weeks here in Canada. We have had to call our friends and families, many of our community members who have not only been devastated by the actions and what has taken place in Gaza, in Palestine, but the fact that many of our own community members have lost countless number of their own relatives. So without further ado, I'll get started. I'm joined by members of the Palestinian community and the Muslim community to discuss this as well. My name is Ahmad Al-Qadi. I work with the Justice for All Canada. We're a human rights nonprofit organization that primarily focuses on combating genocide. So right now, it's about 6:26 in Gaza right now in Palestine. For many of us here in Canada, this would normally be the time where we might be eating dinner with our friends, might be spending time with our families. For children and young adults, they might be doing homework or, studying for a test, any number of things that an average civilian should be entitled to do. However, this is not the case in Gaza right now. Right now, as we speak, it is time for every single Palestinian civilian in Gaza to prepare for another night spent with no fuel, no food, no water, and no electricity as a result of the total blockade done by Israel. At this time, Palestinians in Gaza must wade through the darkness of a city turned to ash and rubble, a city that was once beautiful and vibrant with life. But right now, Palestinians are hoping and praying that the hundreds of bombs targeting civilians, do not reach them or their families. And the days bleed into the night only because of the hundreds of explosions engulfing Gaza into flames. And honestly, who can sleep under such circumstances? When we talk about 8,000 people, over 8,000 civilians killed in a matter of 3 weeks, when we talk about over 2,360 children killed in a matter of 3 weeks, this is not an abstract number. These were 8,000 people with hopes and dreams. They were mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, children. They were just like your average Canadian. And we have truly struggled to see how our government could ever take such a laissez-faire approach to a massacre that has left over 8,000 dead and counting. Members of Parliament, instead of standing against the violence, have given a carte blanche for Israel to do as it pleases, despite the fact that Israel's president said there are no innocent civilians in Gaza, despite the fact that he said Israel would do whatever it takes to win, despite the fact that the Israeli defense minister called Palestinians human animals. What we have seen in essence these past 3 weeks is a mass propaganda campaign targeted at stripping Palestinians of their humanity in order to justify a war against civilians and war crimes, and that is exactly what happened. They have attacked and murdered thousands of civilians with impunity. What has been the government's response to these dreadful actions? The call for a humanitarian pause. Is that what civilians deserve, who have done nothing wrong, to take a coffee break before jumping right back into being butchered? We know diplomacy is difficult, we know diplomacy is hard, but our asks are simple. What Canadians are asking for is simple: that Canada takes a moral, humane approach to a conflict that has left over 8,000 civilians dead. So number one, Canada must call for a ceasefire, an immediate ceasefire, to halt the violence and protect civilian lives in Gaza, West Bank, and Israel. Every single civilian deserves to live a peaceful life, no matter where they are. Advocate for the establishment of a humanitarian corridor to ensure the safe delivery of essential aid, medical supplies, and support to the affected Gaza population. Number three, Canada must evaluate its decision to recognize the International Criminal Court's jurisdiction in investigating the Israeli government for war crimes. And lastly, Canada must review its supply arms and weapons to Israel, ensuring they are not used in ways that violate international law and contribute to the killing of innocent civilians. As an ally to Israel, Canada should be working with both sides to ensure that human rights violations and war crimes are not committed. Canada should do everything in its power to ensure that civilian casualties are minimized. Instead, truthfully, what we can observe is that civilians have been the primary target in Gaza. We know that our government can do better, and it must do better. We call on all our members of Parliament to action our listed items for the sake of preserving innocent life. And with that, I will leave it to our delegates and speakers. I'll now invite Habib Khouri of the Association of Palestinian Arab Canadians to speak.
Thank you.